Oh, well, well, well. Hello, scrapping buddies. It's late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, coming to you on Saturday, September 20th at 11:40 p.m. here in Wisconsin in the US. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I am going to do the last two-page spread of this kit. But before that, I'm trying to get my devices to catch up to me. Sometimes that is a struggle because there's a little bit of a delay. All right, that one's on. We'll make sure I've got sound. I do. I've got my cordless or my wireless mic on. So if my sound goes out, if you're joining me live, give me the heads up. And it looks like everything is all caught up. So if you're joining me, let me know where you are joining from. And don't be afraid to chime in. Because I love to collaborate. All right. Couple of quick announcements, and then we'll get down to business. Little slow start here, getting everything situated, but it's all good. Stampin' Up! Has this new advent calendar, and it's big. It's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe 9 by 12. I don't even know if it says in the information I have, but each of these numbered sections, there is going to be dies, paper, embellishments, and even more items that we won't find in any catalogs or the online store. This is a $99 item. The item number is 167,335. I'm really excited to see what it's going to have, and hopefully, Stampin' Up! Is going to give us a little bit more information as the time comes, but there's going to be a stamp set as well. So I think it's going to be pretty fun. Looks like there's going to be some cards. Maybe it's going to be Christmas themed. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it contains. And when I get it, I think we can start ordering that in 3 days. Let me look. Yeah, September 23rd, we can start ordering that. So it's not available yet, but you can bet that I'll be putting an order in. And when I get my item, I will do like an unboxing and share with everybody. All right. Another thing that's new for Stampin' Up! Is they are doing an online craft class. So the very first one is going to be this Traditions of Christmas. I don't have a whole lot of information about this either. The class will be available for purchase starting October 1st. It is a $30 class. So everything that you need for the class is on this list, different blocks and inks and that sort of thing. And it does use the Traditions of Christmas Suite collection. If you don't have that, if you don't like it, I'm sure we can work with what we have. Um, but you'll get, I believe, like PDF or instructions for all of the projects I make. I don't know how many projects there's going to be, but as I have more information, I will certainly let you know. So purchase for that class starts October 1st, and you can get that through my online store when it becomes available. World Card Making Day is October 4th. So many things going on in such a short period of time. If you are local to me, I will have my studio open from 2 to 5. The virtual event actually will be our time here in Wisconsin, will be between 3 and 4. Mountain time, it starts at 2 o'clock and is scheduled to go for about an hour. So it may be shorter, might be a little longer. This is a free event. All right. The event does feature, excuse me, the event does feature a kit, and I do have mine on order. I think I ordered it already. So when I get that, I will show everybody. But since this is in just 2 weeks, Yeah, because next week is the 27th, and the week after that is October 4th. So that's when this is, just in 2 weeks. So you might be running close on time to actually get yours ordered. If I have people local that want to come to this and just watch the event with me, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and still have open studio time for this. And we may work on the kit. We may work on other things. I may have some make and takes. I don't know for sure. But register for this if you're interested. It's just an hour, and Stampin' Up! Usually has some fun things to show us. So keep that in mind. Now, for the star of the show, we are going to finish this Halloween Memories 3-page spread. This is a kit. This is a scrapbooking workshop kit. Last night, I did the 2-page spread, number 2, and I'm going to go through and show you those in just a second. I'm going to also show some of the modifications I made to my kit to make it more me. And I don't do a lot of scrapbooking or memory keeping. So, I've done a few pages here and there over the years. And I recently did the month to month scrapbooking, the virtual scrapbooking album that Stampin' Up! Offered. And I got a lot of fun ideas and techniques to use during that virtual event. So that was really fun. That kit, I believe, is still available. So that, because it's a 12-month kit, does have a higher price point as well. If you're thinking about purchasing something like that, you might actually want to consider joining um, my team because you can get a discount. And let me tell you, the discount is awesome. But there's a lot of other perks too. Like we can see products before general customers. We get our catalogs earlier so we can start seeing things that we really like. There are events that are just made available from Stampin' Up! To demonstrators. Um, and you get that discount, which I think is awesome, which is why I initially joined, was just for the discount. So anyway, I'm going to show you these two. I'm going to show you these two. And then we're going to do these. And I'm going to show you all of the extra stuff that you get in this kit. Now, this kit is $28. But when you see all the stuff in it, if you went to, excuse me, if you went to purchase all of these items separately, either through, a big box store or online through whomever, I'd venture to guess that all of the things that you would need would, when you have to buy a whole package of something, would probably cost a lot more than the $28 for everything you get in here. So I'm going to go to, let's just look at some of this stuff. When you get these kits, they have instructions. This particular kit, there were typographical errors or omissions or mistakes. I'm not sure what. So there is posted in my online store under the Halloween Memories item. There's a PDF that has these instructions. You could actually go grab those instructions and have all the measurements to create a similar layout. Or if you have a whole different theme that you want to go with, maybe not memory or Halloween memories, you could still create something very similar with the measurements and everything that they have available. Now, with this kit, it tells you what you need. You need the kit, you need a black marker, your adhesive, paper trimmer, and snips. That's basically all you have to have extra. Adhesives should be listed there, and they're not. It tells you if there's a featured technique, like if there's ink blending, or like this one, adding faux stitching details with the Stampin' Right marker. And then it also tells you for each project what size pictures you need and whether they're portrait or landscaped. All right. I do not have all of my pictures pulled. I printed a bunch of pictures at one point and they got scooped up somewhere in my um, cleaning at some point and uncleaning and cleaning that I've lost track of them. But I will find them again. So the first 4 pages are all the instructions and the cutting guide for how to cut your paper to use it most efficiently. Okay. So pages 2 through 5 are all the cutting instructions. And then we go to the general instructions for the pages. It will show you what the finished page will look like. And then it also gives you, in this grayed out version, has all of the measurements for where to place the different items. Now, I will tell you when I do my kit, I do not use any of those measurements, or I haven't yet. Maybe at some point I will. I eyeball all of mine, and I may not even put my things in the same place. So make it yours. If you want to use those numbers, if you want to just make it exactly as it shows, have at it. But you be you, it's your scrapbook, do what you want. All right. So there's page 2. So the right side of the first spread. All right. And I'm going to back up to these in a second. Here's the second set. So the first page, the bright one shows you their layout. The grayed out one shows you like this is 1.5 inches. This is 2 inches. So there's not a whole lot of inches shown here as to where to put things, but right here there is. Here there's 1/8 inch in between there, it says. And then the right side page for this 2-page spread, same thing. This is the finished project. The grade 1 shows the different inches. So like for here, from this picture over to here is 6 inches. From this edge down to here is 2 3/4. This here is 2.5. This is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So it shows you exactly what you need to do if you want to make it just like that. We are going to work on this one tonight because the last 2 nights I've done these others. So let me show you all of the things. It's really important if you've never done one of these kits before. It is really important to do all of your cutting first. So as we look at some of these cutting pieces, Stampin' Up! Has laid this out so that you will cut everything most efficiently to use your paper and have minimal waste or maximize the extra pieces. Okay. So anytime you see this scissor mark, that is your first cut. Always make that your first cut. That might be the longest piece that you need. And if you make other cuts, you're not going to have it cut right. So always use those scissors to make your first cut. It will show you the designer series paper front and back. If there is a star, and you may or may not be able to see that, let me try to zoom in really far here. So here where you can see the star where it says 1A star, that means we're using the back side. And it tells you that up on the instructions that now you can't see anymore because I've zoomed it so far. But it tells you here, first cut, star equals use of the back side of the paper. All right. I'm just going to go out just a little bit more. All right. That's for page 1. That's for page 2. And I'm trying to think if there's something else I need to highlight on that. So even though these are cut the same for the left and the right side, all of the pages might not be that way. All right. So when we go to this gorgeous grape, it's telling us our first cut is here. We're going to make these 2 cuts, and all of this white space is extra. Okay. When we have the pumpkin pie, we're using up almost the entire sheet. Make sure you cut the first cut first. All right. Another piece of designer series paper. And there were designer series papers that are exclusive to this kit. Okay. And what I started doing, because there were so many small pieces, I just started putting a check mark when I had them cut so that if I was talking or distracted, I wouldn't lose track of where I was. All right. And this is the basic black, and they're using the two-tone cardstock. So I'll show you how that looks. The dark side is typically the true color, and the light side is like a stamped off color. All right. Last page for the cutting, and then we start for the assembly. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for just a second close by. So this is the basic black. So you can see this is the basic black. This is stamped off. And each cut I made on the back side, the side I wasn't going to be using, I wrote what project it is for. So as I'm cutting, I'm separating things into project number 1, project number 2, or project number 3. All right. And I don't really care if I've got A, B, C, D in order. I just want 1, 2, 3 in order, or however many pages there are. So all of these little pieces were the cuts I need for project 3. And I guess we can kind of put this here. And here is the pumpkin pie. So there's the true color here, the stamped off color there. And then we've got gorgeous grape. And you can kind of see here, here's the dark and here's the light. All right, so these are all cut for project number 3. And then this is cut for project number 3 as well. So I'm going to set those all off to my left. And then I'm going to show you all of the extra pieces. These are all of the things that we got in the kit that we didn't need. So you can make extra scrapbook pages. You could make 3D items, home decor items. You could cut this down and make it into a bunch of cute, cute cards. So we have this piece. Well, this piece might actually, we might actually need this for this project. So we'll just wait. In fact, let me go to project number 3 and see what we need for the backside. So yes, we need that striped sheet. So I need this one, and there should be another one here that's a half sheet. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. Here we go. All right, so this is what I will need for project 3. So now I can show you all of the extra pieces. So this is an extra piece. We have a 2-tone pumpkin pie sheet. We have 2 of the Granny Apple Green 2-tone cardstock. We have another piece of the gorgeous grape. We have the balmy blue. And then we have 1 extra sheet of white willow or willow white. I think it might be willow white. And then this is just a backing sheet for the kit. All right. So those are all extra pieces because we basically got a whole set of the 2-tone cardstock that was designed for the Halloween suite, I think, or something. And then these are all extra pieces as well. So the white willow or willow white, more of the black. This is 2-tone cardstock. So these are all extra pieces that can be used for other projects. These are extra pieces. We've got some of these other cardstocks, and I just hung on to these because you never know when you might be able to use them. We've got these books as extra pieces. Some more of these and some more of the gorgeous grape. So those are all extras that came as part of the kit. All right, so these, I shouldn't need any of those. We'll see. I might need some of that white willow. We'll see. In fact, I probably will need another piece of the white willow. But we'll get there in a minute. So, and I've got an extra. Oh, I forgot one other thing that we get in the kit. I have 1 extra sheet protector there. There was a whole sheet of stickers too. So this particular kit does not have any stamping unless you want to stamp your own things. So these were all stickers that had the different shapes. Like this is all bats on here. Just a bunch of different things. And I'll show you some of the stickers as we go through. So we may or may not use all of these on the last 2-page spread. I'm not sure, but I will keep those close by as well. So here are my first 2 pages. So this is the first spread. My page looks a little bit different. I did some adjustments just because I see things differently. The flow for me was going to be a little different. Normally, I would think that I would want more pictures on here, but I kind of followed their layout. I may put some other pictures on some other pages, or I may add some flip flaps. And if you're not familiar with flip flaps, what they are is an extra photo protector sheet that you would adhere either on the inside here and put a slit so that they're accessible from the outside, or you can put them right on the outside lined up with your first pictures. And then you just flip them up and that gives you, per flip flap, you have 2 extra prints that you could put in there. So if you've got so many pictures and you can't decide which ones to use, you kind of don't have to. You can put more pictures on there. All right. So here's page 1. the left side. Now, I used from the Spooky Suite, I think it is, these Shimmer Star foam stickers. And I used some of the dies to make my bats. And I think that's all I used. But you can see here on mine, so the outline here is this spider web kind of look, that was a full size 12 by 12 sheet of paper that we had. I added some ink blending and then I did some splatter with my alcohol blends just to give it a little bit more flow from one page to the next. Okay. Otherwise, my layout is very similar. I moved these items here up to the top of my picture rather than, oh, I guess they're on the top there. Um, this one I didn't put on. I think I saved that for another page. Either that or I just forgot about it. I don't know. But the So Spooky, since I don't have my picture picked out, I didn't want to wait to put the sticker on. So I just shifted things a little bit. I put this picture a little bit higher. I've got these little banners on here. These stars are stickers from the kit. The So Spooky is a sticker. The October 31st, I moved from the lower corner to the upper corner, and then I put some ink blending through that banner. And then these are stickers as well. Now, I put this photo holder up on dimensionals, so it gives it a little bit of depth. I put the bats up on black dimensionals. Yes, you can use dimensionals. Yes, you can stamp on your pages. Yes, you can use ink blending. So this is kind of, if you're a card maker, this is kind of like a big card. All right. And you could always use a layout from a scrapbook and convert it into a layout for a card too, if there's something that you find is particularly appealing to you. All right. I ended up on this sticker. I fussy cut, or fussy cuss, as one of my followers calls it. Um, I cut much closer to the bottles because I didn't like how it looked with the broad edge on the sticker, like here. There's a very broad border on there. I didn't want that on there. So those were the changes I made to that page, and I added some of those foam stars. All right. So my second page then, and you can watch 2 nights ago. So that would be the 18th where I did this set. All right. So here is our right page for this. Now there's a couple of stars there. I did that. I put this designer series paper, but as I mentioned, I put my ink blending, I put my ink splatter, I added some bats from the separate suite. I put my picture frame up on a bunch of dimensionals, but then I also changed around some of my banner pieces. All right. So these pictures were kind of shifted. This one was higher with this down over here. When I started laying things out, I liked that up there better. And that's a sticker because I didn't want to wait until I found my pictures to stick it on the top of my picture. All right. I'm not real big on putting stickers on my pictures. I have stamped on my pictures though, which is really attractive if you use Stays On. Just a tip for you. All right. These little banners and the spider I put over here. I think I must have marked one of my papers incorrectly because it should have been the green one with the bubbles, but it doesn't matter. I like that. And then this striped piece here, I actually cut so that it looked like a bunch of little separate banners. All right. And then this gorgeous grape piece I put across there to kind of go with the gorgeous grape piece here that will be for some journaling. Okay. Now, the kicker on this one, since I put this up on dimensionals, this is already in my page protector, right? But I have made interactive pieces here. So I marked where this piece was by putting the whole page in my sheet protector. I used a stylus and a ruler so that I could make that mark. I inserted some chipboard, took my craft knife and cut that slit in there. And now I made these extra tags. This is an extra tag. This is from a die from the Spooky Suite. And it's this die here. So when you cut it out and fold it in half, that little bat sits up and it's like a silhouette. So I did that for the tops of my tags. And because I have this as a slit here now, we don't have to take that page out of the page protector in order to look at what I have on these. So I may do some journaling here. I may add a picture on here, but it's very versatile. All right. So those are there. And I think that is quite fun. And then I put some more of the foam stars there. So this is, all right, page 1 and 2. Yes, page 1 and 2. All right. So anytime you have a special effect where you're going to have things on the outside of your project and you're slitting your page protector, make sure that whatever page is going to be next, that you don't put it in a separate page protector and cut that one. If there's a special element you want to add, you want to make sure you're putting it in the page protector where it's going to go next. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So let's pull out the next one. So here is project number 2, the left page. And I did mine very similar. I wasn't very fond of these two pictures just sitting side by side. I offset them. This strip with the books is from Designer Series paper. I did take my web and I moved it over closer, but I cut off some of that white border again. I added the bat and those foam stars, and those are like glitter stars. And I just moved some of this stuff over here. And rather than having my Hello October here, I put it up here and I still added some more ink blending. And again, that is to kind of take your eye from one page to the next. So it just kind of flows across the set of pages. And then for the second page, I kind of followed the layout pretty closely this time. I did not want to put the stickers with the words on them on my pictures again, so I just put them on my page instead. I added a couple bats, I added a couple of those foam stars, and everything else is pretty close. Now, the other thing that we did, and that was on the first set of pages too, was we did some faux stitching with just a marker or a journaling pen, whichever you have. And I just used a very small piece of seal so that I could put that where it needs to be. When I go to write on it, if I mess up, then I'll just cut a separate piece and put it on top of there or peel that one off. All right. So there's my 2-page spread for project 2. And project 3 is going to end up going here and in another page protector. So let's get those out of the way. And hopefully I won't have an avalanche anywhere. And let's pull up the instructions for project 3. So we are going to pull in this piece. And it says mat the photos on 3C. So let's see what 3C is. Here's 3C. And oh, that's one other thing you get in the kit is the photo holders, the placeholders. All right, so this will go here. And I'm just going to put a little piece of seal in there. The first project I did, I didn't put the placeholders in there because I thought, well, of course, I know where the picture goes, but it really did help. So I'm going to put that there. And 3D, let's see which one is 3D. Here is 3D. And we probably wouldn't need a placeholder on that one, but we'll put one on there anyway, just because it'll look like it's matted. And then you can see what the size is too. So that's a nice thing about the photo placeholders too, is it tells you what the sizes are. All right, so 3K and 3L. So here's L and here's 3K. And we're going to put placeholders on those as well. And you can always leave these placeholders on there too to be extra matting if you want. All right. And then cut the remainder purple sticker piece in half. So let's see what that purple sticker piece is. So that must be this one. And I'm just going to wait to do that. That might be on the second page. Yep, that's on the next page. So I'm not going to cut that until I'm ready to put it on my project. All right. So I'm just reading all the instructions on here. So then it says assemble, use the diagonal stripe pool party for the page base, which I have. Angle cut and adhere. 3 F, G, and H. So let me find those. Okay, so here's F. You gotta find it. Well, let's see, we're looking for one of these. Here we go. F, G, and H. So it says angle cut those and adhere them. So when I angle cut mine, so they've got them right up here. You can angle cut them in whatever direction you want. Oops. And we're going to use the green side. And the angles don't have to be the same either. If I needed them the same, there's a technique I can show you for doing that. All right. So I'm going to move these placeholders off to the side because I don't need them just yet. So angle cut and adhere, 3F, 3G, 3H to the base page and draw faux stitching at the top. So it wants me to put these up here and it wants me to draw some faux stitching. So I'm just going to lay these out here for now because I may not keep them there. So I don't want to do a whole lot with that just yet. All right. And it shows the green one on top like that. So let's just kind of lay it how they have it. And I'm just flattening out the edge from where I cut. All right. And then we want, let me move this over a little bit more so you can see where I'm looking on the instructions too. And like I said, there's a PDF available in my online store, so you could actually be following along if you wanted. So we're going to add 3A to the base page. So this is 3A, and it wants us to do it so that it's landscaped. Now they've got how many inches it is here. I could use my ruler, and I could do 3 inches here, and it looks like 2¼ inches here, but I'm just going to kind of lay it out here and eyeball it, okay? And then it says adhere 3C to 3B. So 3C is this one. And then this is 3B. So it's wanting us to put this right on here. And I wish the black would have been on the outer edge like it shows there. But it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and put that on. And because this is going to be in a page protector, I don't worry a whole lot about having lots and lots of adhesive because it's pretty much going to stay in place. All right, so we'll put that there. And that's going to shift just a little bit because I don't have a whole lot of adhesive on there. So that's going to go here. And then we've got adhere 3D. So this one it wants here-ish. Adhere 3E. And then add your journaling and draw faux stitching. So it's telling us to put this one on. And it actually was showing it in the light pumpkin pie, but I like the dark pumpkin pie better. So I'm going to see if I can erase this. marking, and hopefully it won't show. And it does show a little bit. So we'll go with the back side like it shows. And then we're going to draw some faux stitching like it shows. And that's just these quick lines. And it just shows it at the top and the bottom of that piece. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to use a ruler. It's just going to look kind of random like hand stitching. Okay. So it wants me to put 3E. And usually I would do my journaling before I stick it on here. And then embellish it with the stickers. So it's got the bats. Now I can go ahead and put the bats. I kind of like this layout. I might normally have been inclined to add more pictures. But I think once we put these other elements on here, it'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down. And try to get this kind of in the center. And with the other things on there, if it's not exactly in the center, I don't know that it's really going to matter a whole lot. So I'm just going to kind of line it up there. I think that looks pretty good. All right, and then we're going to put this on. Now, if you liked the green better, a little potion green instead of the striped, by all means, you do what makes you happy and making your memories stand out. All right. And then when I put this one down, I'm not going to put any adhesive here because I'm going to want to be able to tuck that picture in. So I think what I'm going to do is put this up on dimensionals, and I'm just going to put them around these edges here. Let's just see. That will work. Oh, that one didn't come off. There we go. So when I set this down, I want to be careful that I'm still going to be able to put a picture in there later. And I will find them. I have some adorable pictures of my granddaughter and my bonus grandson. So now let's go ahead and put these up on here. So I'm just going to put some seal near the top so the edges of the banners are loose. If I need to put anything under there, I can. And especially that one, I don't want anything underneath because if I want to put something under here to lay, I want to be able to get there. And then this one shows faux stitching as well. I know some people that do junk journaling and they actually sew elements in their books. So I'm thinking maybe that's what that's supposed to look like. I've not done junk journaling, so I'm not exactly sure. All right. And then we're to this piece, and I am just going to use a little piece of snail so that when I'm ready to do my journaling, all I have to do is kind of twist it around and lift it. And that has it going right over the photo. So let's put that there. And then there's a sticker somewhere that says date. And I think I might be missing a little scrap somewhere because I don't see that here. So I will find that and add that. So just know that, oh, here it is, right here. We're going to go ahead and put the one with the black edge right up here. And that's offset. And then we have some bats to put down. So I'm going to put the really big one up here. And then a medium-sized one goes over here. Now it has it on the paper. It doesn't really matter. And that's the third one. Now, these other little pieces here, I wasn't even sure what it was supposed to be. Like this piece here, maybe it's just supposed to be like a tab. I don't know. But there was one from another page, a purple one, and I didn't use it because I didn't know what it was. So I'm going to put these here because maybe that's what they're supposed to be, page tabs. At least they'll be uniform here, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, and let's see what else we have. We have a couple more bats to put down over here. So it looks like 3 more. And again, it has those on top of the pictures, which I am not going to do. And a third one. So that means, let's see how many bats there might be on the second spread. Just 1. All right, then I have exactly what I need. I am going to keep both of these. And the reason for that is I've got 2 other bats over here. I may put another one on here, but I've got 3 here and 2 here, and I tend to keep things in odd numbers when I'm grouping like that. And then we need some words that say trick or treat. So trick or treat is right here. Now these are all cut for you. Some of these I cut out because I wasn't sure where I was going to lay them at the time. So I'm going to put trick or treat down here. It has them again over the pictures, but I'm not real big on putting stickers on my pictures. And then terrifyingly good times. We'll put that one down here. Try to put it straight though. There, that's pretty good. So I think, let's get this out of the way. I think that's everything that's called for on this page. Now, because we've got this busy background paper, I am not going to do any ink blending on this page, okay? But I am going to add a few of these little stars, and I think this time I'm going to use the white ones because I've used black on a set of pages. I've used the gorgeous grape. So now I think I'm going to do the white. Let's put another one down over here. And then we'll put a couple more over here, I think. And these they're squishy, but there's some fluff to them. They're foam under there. So those are pretty fun. All right, so that's our page done. That did not take very long at all. The most tedious part of these kits is that first few pages where you're cutting. And it's just really important to take your time when you're cutting so that you don't make a mistake. But then you could see how much extra paper I ended up with. All right, so very close to what the layout here is. A little crooked there. There we go. All right, now I will probably not add any other pictures unless I decide to use some flip-flops. And if I decide to use some flip-flops, it'll probably be for here. And what I will end up doing is when I put this in my page protector then, I will mark this, protect the other side of my page protector or my project. I will slice this and then I will tuck my flip flap under there so that it's on the outside of my page protector when I put the page back in there. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so this page is done. We'll move that, oh, there we go, over here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that right in the page protector from project 2. All right, so let's do the final page here. And it says adhere 3I. So I've got 3I to the Willow White cardstock base. So that one piece of Willow White that I thought was extra is not extra. That's going to be used for this page. Let me just pull that out here. All right, so it's white willow. All right, so that's going to go right on here. Hey, Juju. How was your live? I am almost done with project 3. So I put my other 2-page spreads together. I did some ink blending. I did some ink splatter. And I covered those at the beginning of this live. You got really messy with your paints, huh? You're in heaven. Very fun. All right, nice. So when I have to put something flush like that, you can see what I did is I just put my paper on end, made sure I lined up the bottom, and then just used my hands to kind of cup it on the sides to keep it even. All right, so then this piece is going to go here. And this is 3J. So it just says adhere 3J. Now I could butt it up against the other page. And I think that's probably what they did. Or I could put it kind of on top and it would cover that seam, but then it's going to be just a little sideways. So I'm going to butt it up. And I want to try to get that adhesive to the end. I'll angle this down first so that I can get it all the way flush, and then I'll press it down. And if there's just an itty bitty little bit hanging over, you backed some foam cuts? So you like put a mat on them? I think that's awesome. We rub off on each other a little bit. All right. And then it says adhere 3K and 3L. So let's see what we've got here. That must be my pictures. So there's 3K. And that's 3D. I probably put L on the other page because we had one on there too. All right. All right, so this will go up here. Now it shows these pictures. Let me pull this in again so you can kind of see. It shows these 2 pictures kind of close together. And I think I will probably have mine a little further apart. So let's go ahead and we're going to put this one flat. And I'm going to put the white based one on dimensionals. Just so it has a little more depth. Why is that on black and my other one was on white? I wonder if I messed it up. Oh yeah, that one's on black. I should have had this one on white. So I put the black one on here. That's all right. We're going to go white on this one because I'm not going to peel it apart. All right, so I'm going to leave this here for a second. We're the only ones that's going to know that I put them on the wrong pages. And this will kind of go here. So let's just eyeball. I could measure, but I've already explained I'm not real big on measuring. And then we'll put that there. That way, if I want to put something in the middle here, I can. So let's go ahead and get that GABA glue off there. So what I'm doing is I'm eyeballing it so that I kind of have an even border there. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing here. So I'm going to have more space in here, but that's going to give me some place to put some other embellishments that I want to do. All right. And then we are going to take the Halloween and the memories stickers and add them on. So Halloween and memories. I think we'll do memories first. But oh, here's something else I forgot to do. I should have had these a little bit lower, I guess, because it wants me to do that faux stitching on here. So I guess we can do that. It says to do that 1.5 inches, but that's just not going to work on mine. So we're just going to put some faux stitching near the top. Do I have faux stitching? No, the other one doesn't have it because that has this balmy blue the whole way. And then I'll have to go and put a second line of stitching because that's what the instructions say. Because we put 2 stitch lines on a couple of those little banner pieces. Now I would try to go this way, but my left hand won't let me. I can already tell you that's not going to work. And I have, before this project, not done faux stitching before. It's kind of an interesting technique. And I don't even care that some of these are not exactly lined up because that's how my hand stitching would probably end up anyway. Kind of random. All right, so there's that. And now we can do this piece is going to go here. Did it tell me 3M? Add the stickers and journaling to 3M. Oh, and then adhere. So it wants me to put these stickers on here. I really like the darker color better. So I could go like this. No, I guess we'll use the lighter color. So that goes here. And then there should be another spider somewhere. Yep, here it is. So the instructions show another spider over here. And that's going to kind of be off my journaling sheet because that's how I want it. All right, and then we're going to adhere this to the page. Oh, and I was going to put this one up on dimensionals. We can still do that. We will add those dimensionals because I think that'll look better. It'll give it a little bit more depth. Since I'm thinking about it, I figure I may as well do it now, otherwise I'm going to forget. All right. Now we can finish putting this one on. Luckily, I didn't stick them together. So this is going to be about a 1/2 inch from the bottom is what the instructions say. Good enough. And then we're going to put the Memories banner on here. And I'm going to tuck that under that little spider. That looks pretty good. And then Halloween is going to come up here. I'm going to have Halloween sitting all the way up there because I just didn't really like how it was kind of overlapping there. I'd want to cut off some of that white. So you missed it, Juju. I fussy cut something on another page. So you missed my fussy cussing. All right, and then it says adhere 3Q. Here's 3Q, 3P, 3O. Make sure I have them all. 3N, 3R, 3S, 3T, and 3U. And one black sticker piece. So that's going to be this one. So some of this and some of the purple stars. And let's just see how I want it to be, maybe about this long. And I'm going to angle cut these again because that's been the theme throughout this. Some of these are angle cut and some aren't, and I want all of mine angle cut. So now at this point, and I'm going to trim this a little bit at an angle so that it will be flush with that Memories piece. And this one, it actually wants a little behind there, but I don't think that's going to matter. And then we're going to end up making some stitch lines across here to kind of make a banner. Just wait till you see the other pages, Juju. They are, I think, absolutely adorable. So let's go ahead and banner cut that one. And I'm going to lift this up, I think, and banner cut this a little bit too. Since I said I was going to, and then I forgot. All right, and then we need an orange piece, and I'm just following this layout here. There should be another orange piece. Orange and orange. So that's S. Oh, I suppose I could have followed this. I probably didn't already. Q, P. Okay, so there's another orange piece somewhere. There it is. All right, so those are going to go there. And then we're going to do this piece, this piece, this piece, another purple star piece, and then this. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have a 6th one over here just so you know ahead of time. It's just not going to work for me not to have one. And I'm just putting my adhesive basically on the top portion. I'm not worrying about the bottom portion. And I'm going to make that one a little shorter because it's my page. All right. And then let's do this side. So this is going to come under here. Again, I'm going to cut this a little bit at an angle so that it can kind of butt up against that part of the banner. And then we're going to cut an angle there. These kits really are quite fun. I have several of them. And they make doing the layouts and everything so much easier. And I'm going to trim this down that way. Okay. That one shows a straight cut too, but I want it angled. And then we're going to do some more of this piece. And we're going to go like this because I've already got an angle cut there. We're going to end up doing like this. So I can hang on to that for something else maybe. It's kind of a fun piece. And then we've got the black and white striped one. No, I didn't find a, yeah, well, there's not a number 6, but we're gonna make one because I have to have it symmetrical. Now, granted, this one's wider, so it kind of makes it like worth 2, but I want another one. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna cut it a little narrower. I can maybe save that little piece. And quite honestly, the outlines on these could be used to make more kind of embellishments. And then I guess it doesn't matter. The stripes go the same way either way, huh? We're going to do this and this. And I think it'll still look hopefully kind of balanced because we're still about the same distance here and here because I made that thinner. You knew exactly where I was going with that though, weren't you? All right, so now we're going to do our faux stitching on here because it's got these instructions here. Show faux stitching to make like a line that these banner pieces are on. And then it shows it just kind of across the top. Hopefully you can see okay. I don't think my arm's in the way. One of the benefits of being left-handed, I guess. All right, so my string didn't go in the same place, but I'm all right with that. All right, so let's see. Now we need a couple of bats. And we need this little arrow piece. This arrow piece it wants there, but I think I'm actually going to do it maybe this way. And I'm going to cut the end off of here and make it a little shorter. So that we can go like this. And then maybe even like that. All right. And these are going to be extra sticker pieces. So that's kind of nice. I want them to be something else. You just never know. I may end up throwing them away, but who knows? Just never know. Something might hit me in the next day or two. I'm like, oh, I can use that. All right, and then we need, let me move this over again. We need a bat. We need a bat. I'm going to do a bat here. And the previous page had called for another bat, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put maybe, I'll put a couple of them down here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put these up on dimensionals. Black dimensionals. What did I do with my, there we are. They're out here somewhere. I thought I had some. All right. Let's just take this and cut it in half. And I'm going to put another piece right there in the middle. I think that'll hold a whole dimensional. Yes, it will. So we were supposed to go with friends to an outdoor festival today for Italian Fest. That didn't work out because it was pouring rain. So we just went out to eat instead and sat inside and did not get wet. And then I had a birthday party for my great nephew. So we spent some time with my niece and her family, which is always fun. So I have a great nephew who is turning 4 in just a couple of days. And then my great niece is 6. There, I think I like that there. I don't know what this little, yeah, I'm not sitting out in any rain, right? And I think there was thunder, which means there's lightning, which means they probably shut down the festival anyway. I wonder why this piece doesn't have any faux stitching on it. It's going to have faux stitching now. And I thought the orange piece on the facing page, did it have double? No, it's just got single. So we're going to put that up here so that it looks like the facing page. All right, and I don't know where this little arrow was supposed to go. I don't remember seeing that on any instructions. So that might be an extra piece too. And here's a purple arrow. So I don't remember seeing that on any instructions either. And then we need some little words here that say creeping it real. Is that what that says? Yep. Creeping it real. And that's going like right over here. So I'm gonna put that up here instead. And then there's 3 other things. Fright Night, This Way Comes. Oh, Something Wicked, This Way Comes. Fright Night. I might put those on someplace else. And then we've got October 31st and Memories. So those are extra stickers that can go on either a supplemental page. There's also another one that says date that can go on a supplemental page. So there's some extra stickers. So I am going to add some of these, and I did white on the facing page. So we're going to white here as well. These are those glittery foam, shimmer star foam stickers. So there's 2 there. We're going to put a bunch of these on, I think. so that we've got 5 there. And I did not do any ink blending on this page just because with this balmy blue striped page, there was enough going on. So because there are enough extra supplies to do extra pages or projects, there are also extra photo placeholders, and I can't get these embellishments back in this package for the life of me. There. Phew, maybe. I am going to win. There we go. Now they're in there. So there's all these extra placeholders too. So I will hang on to these. I'm not going to get rid of them just because they're nice to have so that you've got the sizes. Now I could have put a picture here instead of this stuff, instead of journaling, but I could also put flip-flaps on here and then have extra pictures in here. So I may do that eventually as well. All right. So, whew, that is the end of our instructions. Oh, there's stars. I just noticed there's a star by the bat here. It's kind of random though. I'm going to put the star over here. And then there's an extra star here. So I'm just going to use that one maybe over there. Okay. Oh, and there's another spider. I guess that doesn't really fit on this page. So, oh, and here's my black dimensionals too. All right, let me just put this stuff aside and I'm going to pull out those pages one more time. And let me get my memory protector, my page protector for this. And let's go get those other pages. And I've actually had this kit for a while, and I'm just glad I got it put together. So let me go get those other pages. And I will need to either add this to an album or create a cover page, because who wants to open an album and just see nothing? Okay. So this is the first spread. So Juju, this is where I added some ink blending to help guide the eye to the second page. I moved a lot of this stuff around, and here is, now you can see this is in a page protector, but look at these extra tags. All right, and I don't remember if I showed that last night or not, but those are in there. Everything is attached. All right, so I moved the words around so they weren't going to be on top of any pictures, and I'm really happy with that. And then here's the second 2-page spread. And again, I did some ink blending, but this time in the Gorgeous Grape. I put some of these words up on those foam strips. The bats are up on dimensionals. And I think that's all that is on dimensionals. And then here's what we did tonight. So that kind of goes like that. All right, so this one is probably the closest to the instructions of all 3 of the 2-page spreads. So that's all I have. Phew. Now I need to decide what to work on for tomorrow. But now I can see too how many extra pieces I have that we didn't really use. So I kind of went through them before. But we've got a couple of these labels, a couple stickers, and then all of this paper is extra. All of these parts and pieces. So lots of extra pieces for additional projects. A whole sheet of this. And then this 2-tone cardstock. So we've got 5, 6 full sheets of 2-tone cardstock that were not used in here, but you could use them to make additional pages. So there's a lot of, I think, a lot of value in these workshop kits. So I'm going to put this in my bag, and then it comes in this nice big baggie too. And I'm going to hang on to these baggies because you never know when you might need something. If I go to a crop or something, I'll have it. All right. Thanks for popping by, Juju. I appreciate it. It's always good to chat. And that's all I have for tonight. So thanks for popping in. And until next time, happy scrapping, crafting, or stamping, right? Enjoy the rest of your night or your day.